Freestyle in the anchor. Don't write that shit. Freestyle in the anchor.
It is healthy for human beings on a personal and collective level to recognize and honor their fragilities and vulnerabilities at a very basic level.
Absolutely.
It's scary. It is risky. It could be manipulated. It could, it comes with its own potential dangers and consequences that you have to protect to or you're susceptible to. But I think that is healthier than not doing it. And so, we're in this time. It's been out for a while. It was making rounds. I think really hit a splash. There's this Manosphere documentary came out on Netflix by Theroux, Henry Theroux, Louis Theroux, Henry David Theroux is getting this bag.
Louis Theroux, who is a incredible kind of independent, for a long time independent filmmaker who will do these deep immersions into a subculture.
Yeah.
He did a incredible one about white supremacists and the Klan. I think he did what's kind of the seminal text on the Juggalos.
Okay.
He's the man knows how to maneuver a subculture,
right.
And he's British, so people just kind of give him that little maneuvering.
And you didn't see this?
I haven't seen it yet. Yeah,
I would recommend checking. I mean, I thought it was good. I enjoy getting a close-up look. It's something I've kept my eye on, but certainly haven't done a deep dive. One, because I'm just less of a deep diver in general these days. But two, just to protect my algorithms.
Yeah.
But I also have really not wanted to be ignorant to this phenomenon that I know is so dangerous. And I think this was really helpful because they obviously show that there is a deep connection between, this particularly second Trump administration and this space. But it wasn't about that. And I think so many of the conversations are about how the Republican Party is more apt at figuring out this internet subculture. The Democrats are so, detached and so coastal that they don't even know how to get into the game, which is, there's truths to those things. But
it's maybe not actually even the most important part of the story.
Yeah. But seeing someone who, you're right, able to access and maneuver and be with these people,
get access,
and be with them for a couple of days. And then the fact that he does not present as a hyper masculine figure himself.
Right.
So him, this, British kind of frumpy dude with glasses, who then also has his reputation of now everybody who's aware that they're getting interviewed, it becomes really meta because then their chats and all of their streams are egging them on to be in competition with him. So it's one, trying to look good, two, actually trying to look like an asshole. And that's actually the point is I don't care and I don't have to care, but I'm moral. So that's the thing. We talk about dialectics and contradictions a lot. I'm gonna say the word again to be annoying in a few moments, but it was very clear to me the difference between contradictions, which are a fact of life, and being inconsistent. Right. So it's a guy who's basically, managing a Telegram page that then sells links to OnlyFans model pages.
Right.
But then he does this whole thing about how OnlyFans is disgusting and how I would disown. So he has this inconsistency and this dissonance happening.
Every accusation is a confession.
Right. And so, they're basically doing these three things, these 4 or 5 subjects that they follow, but it's all about physicality, domination of women, and they have different brands of how they do this domination of women, and then basically financial literacy scamming in some type of way. So it's all get rich, get buff, and get chicks is their whole thing, which is
how original.
Right. It's funny how it's it has gas like that because that's super old. That's 80s mullet hair.
We have a new idea. What if we tell you to grow muscles so you get laid more and have more money? Not the most creative.
But there is a vulgarity and a disdain for, I would say, life, but particularly expansive gender existence and then women in films that is at the core and at the nucleus of this. And so again, now I'm going to use it. For me watching it, there was such a dialectic value to this documentary. It does, one, portraying real horrible humanity.
Right.
These dudes suck.
Right.
Have you ever needed to feel better about yourself? There is a sector of the world that sucks, but it is so scary because throughout they're going outside and you see all of these 14 to 24-year-olds treat them like LeBron James came outside or they ran into,
Henry David Thoreau for
me.
Or even Louis Theroux for me.
Or Black Rob for the people AirGo listening. No, RIP, Black Rob out here. So one scene that like with young boys and vulnerable younger men, like this shit is really taking hold. It's really, deep and being
And
absorbed.
we're like 5 to 8 years into it.
So now
like people who were 14
developed.
then are 20 now.
So,
and,
I think school teachers have kind of been on the front lines of a lot of this, of seeing how boys, one, respond to the women in authority, and it's like the adult women in the school, but definitely the way they treat the girls in the school. So I think this is something, the consequence is actually not yet surfaced at all.
Right.
I think this is something we're going to be dealing with in about 4 to 6 years, when this group of 12 to 17-year-olds now are 23 to 30.
That's harrowing.
Yeah, we got some shit coming. But I think the dialectics of what it shows is that people want to be seen and their struggles be named. People want to have hope that not only the world it can shift, because they're like taking this victory lap of like, oh, we've legislated out transgender identity, and like, look at what we've brought.
We shift the Overton window. That's like his pride.
They're like claiming victory right now. So it is showing, one, like obviously what we need to counter, but that this technology is effective. Right. And so like there's this way in which we're like, oh, the streamers and the TikTokers and the bots and the Instagram is like just all noise and nonsense.
Right.
But what I think those of us who like believe in a world, whether it's on your microphone, in your, your gaming room, wherever, like we need to have a bottom up strategy to counter this, of like, we need micro media, micro communications that are about being vulnerable, that are about being in a healthy relationship, and that actually deconstruct the main thing. This is what I wanted to get to. I'm describing the documentary and these people, but what the Manosphere shows, similarly to Trump, right? Like the Trump dynamic shows that white supremacy and imperialism are ugly and more or less irredeemable. And a thing that I've been trying to like figure out how to move through in my body, and still how I present in seemingly normative ways, right, is that this construct of masculinity, I don't think offers anything besides seeds towards what this logical conclusion is showing, right? I think masculinity, similar to whiteness, similar to Americanness, is incompatible with healthy collective structures that we need to actually feed people, to actually heal people, to actually make sure that we have housing and a medical system that the world over needs. Now, that doesn't mean everybody needs to be trans. That doesn't mean that you have to change your pronoun. Like, you can still exist kind of in how you know yourself.
What you're saying is like any structural masculinity is toxic masculinity.
Anything that you place value on and call masculine are things that human beings do. It's not something particular to this category of human that is superior. And so even like the definition of like, what is a man? If you look it up, it's going to say a person that is masculine. And then if you look up what it means to be masculine, it is a person that is man. And what it means to be man has shifted in time and space all over the world. It meant kilts in one place. It meant, multiple parentage is another place. It meant long hair at one time and short hair at another time, right? Like there's nothing inherent about pink means girl and blue means boy, right? Like all of this is shit we're making up, and it keeps shifting and changing. When I was growing up, if you wore shorts that went above your knee, you weren't a real man. If you wore pants that, showed that you had a bottom half of your body, right? You were literally less man.
Right.
And then it became, you have to, if you got back, you look stupid, fashion as an example of how all this shit is fake and made up. And so all of that imaginary you can play in, but the result of it, similar to how, picket fences and apple pies really equate to, bombs on schoolgirls. I think all of the duding it up and living within that construct, even if you're not actively participating in the harm, is all connected to just harm and violence. And we need to let that shit go.
And so you're saying the things that aren't the harmful parts are just things that are human parts.
That just means being a good person.
So like protecting people, caring for people, using your body, getting things off the top shelf.
being stern, whatever you say, And I'm not saying that then this means that people who see themselves as men are not valuable, but that value,
or that even those traits aren't valuable.
Right. Or that there aren't distances, right? Like there are, most people who are assigned male at birth are larger. Right. Like that is a thing, but they're not all larger than all people that are assigned female at birth. Right. And so I'm not saying that there's no biology that we're moving through. Right. But yeah, I think we could let that shit go.
I think the part that I'm not sticking on, but that I'm standing with is like, it's not that I think the part that I'm like holding with the rest of it, it's not that you're saying that there aren't positive traits that are assigned to men. Like there are things that are part of how we conceive of masculinity that are positive, but that those traits aren't inherently masculine.
Right.
All right. I think I'm here for that. And we all see examples of that, of like, not everyone who's a protector identifies as a man. Not everyone who's physically strong.
Right.
Not everyone who, in our economic strike, like makes the most money. Like there's,
and even the protect and provide. And again, you're help me talk through it. I know I'm not putting this on you, but like protect from who? Right. Like usually what we're protecting from is other masculine violence. Right. Provide why? I would say in our modern economy, because women have been excluded from.
I don't know if I agree with that. That's yes, sure, a lot of the time, but I don't think protector is only based in that. I think it's like protect from concern, insecurity, unsuredness.
That's not what people are saying when they say protect.
I think that is part of it. I think there's being a like, and this is part of, I think, the violence actually that masculinity puts on men is this, and the way that vulnerability becomes something that you can't show is because there is an assumption of like projecting, I got this, I will hold it together, I'll make sure that the dangers in the abstract don't get to you, that I'll be the wall basically. And I don't think that's only from like neighboring tribes. I think it's also from like emotional realities, from a range of things.
I hear the nobility in what you're saying, and I do think that's real. I don't think that's the social construct people are putting on when they say protect and provide. What you're saying is just nurturing and being a steady presence.
But what I'm saying is, when I think about, for me, as someone who had a lot of like, at first, like, all right, I'm rejecting all these assumptions of what a man is supposed to be, right? And then saw like, actually, there's something that I'm being looked to from multiple people that's of value, that is in this realm of like emotional protection.
Okay, help me understand the emotional protection part. Like what?
Another person wanting to feel like they're safer because they're next to you. And that being something that like, I was like, oh, well, maybe that's inherently harmful. And being like, well, maybe. And this isn't just in intimate partner relationships. This is in other contexts too. But a reassurance that I think
that is about your masculine presence, or about how you as Daniel show up?
I think it's about how, when I think about what's the redeeming version of being the protector, this is the part that felt valid and real.
So this is what I'm trying to decipher from, is that yes, protection is an important global human thing, but the protect and provide, capital P.
I'm not saying provide, protect.
I know, I'm saying when it's used in that type of context of this is a masculine trait and value. That conversation, the imaginary of that is if someone breaks into your house, if someone comes up at the bar and says something rude, if someone attacks your kids, and that imaginary violence is coming from a man.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess that's just not really how I think of that word being used. It's more abstract than a specific personal threat.
I'm trying to like
for
think
me.
That's what I'm trying to distinguish from how you, as somebody who's worked.
But the reason why I'm working through this is because it is a challenge to actually, in some way, what you said, right? Of like this, the things that are assigned as traits may have value in and of themselves. They may be like good for humans, but disconnecting them from how we think of masculinity is necessary. And I'm like, for me, I found what feels like a healthy relationship between something that's been assigned to me and a role that actually I feel, which is the version of protection that I'm talking about is not that different from nurturing.
Right, exactly. So I think I like what you're doing. What you're doing is like demonstrating how to reconcile living through the realities of this.
Right. And like if I'm gonna be a man,
right.
and these are gonna be the flooding things.
I guess
coming
I'm
at me,
asking is why do you have to yourself be a man?
because we live in a cultural context in which that feels more right to me in certain aspects than anything else.
And similarly, like I accept, like I move through the world
Right.
as a man, but what of that do I internalize?
And the work that I've tried to do is figure out what is the version of that within me that feels euphoric,
Right.
not dysphoric.
Right. So I hear you, and what I hear you saying is like, again, some of what the deconstruction I'm doing is abstract and not about how we move through the world. And so in moving through the world as masculine people with the understanding of that word means nothing, doing it in a way that then is more nurturing, in a way that doesn't create dysmorphia or disassociation.
And
I hear
putting
that
that
as a
as
healthy process.
that protection, shifting what I mean when I say being a protector, that makes it feel aligned.
Right. So I appreciate that shift. And what I just want to like reiterate is that shift is a path that I appreciate. But that is not what these spaces that have like are defined when people are being taught what it means to be man.
Right.
That's not how the word is being used. And so I want to, as much as possible, question and undercut how these, no matter how real consequential they are, how these constructs have been placed upon us. And I think we have so valorized and get such a sense of glory. There are, and again, removing us from the conversation, there are men who like wait and imagine their boundary or their house or there's something being provoked so that then they can assert their value and assert their
and that makes me super sad.
yeah. And I think, again, you kind of are like meeting in the middle of the process that I'm encouraging. If you let that go, I think that there are healthier relationships to self and the people that you want to protect and nurture. The reason why I say the word is used that way is because it is to establish or to reify this notion of physical dominance.